And we are going. What's going on with everybody? It is your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Orange Dungeon, getting it to your real raw rugged. And I have a special guest on the other line. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. Who we got here today?
It's your boy AraabMuzik, man. You know what I mean? I'm in the building. What's going on?
Hey, man, just kicking it, man. How you doing today?
Just cooling, you know, working. No days off. Just gotta keep it going.
Is this studio?
Yeah, I'm in the lab right now.
Out of like 24, well, not 24 hours out of the day, but just I guess a percentage of like a month. How much are you in the studio? Are you a person that like is always in the studio?
Well, I pretty much live in one, so
Mm,
we could say 100% of the time.
gotcha. You have one in the house.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
so I make
gotcha.
it happen, and then you know, I bring the product to the studios and stuff like that, and you know what I mean.
I accept because you put out like a lot of music. Rather if it's you collabing with somebody, rather if it's just a solo album, rather if it's you collab with somebody I've never heard of before, but the beat is amazing. Like you put out something a lot. Is that like from a young age where you just had like a crazy work ethic, or did you have to develop that once you became like a professional musician?
Um, it varied. I mean, of course, coming up, I definitely wanted my stuff heard as much as possible. So I would, record it every day, try to get my stuff, heard, or what I mean, try to get it on as much projects as I could. Just build my resume, and portfolio and all that. So that's how I pretty much came in the game with that mindset. Obviously, I was hungry. Everyone was in the beginning. You just want to make it. You know what I mean? And that still carried to this day. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really changed much as far as how I go about, doing what I do, the way, you know, um, the only thing that's obviously changed a lot is the business side of things. You know what I'm saying? The work ethic has always been there. That never really changed much. It's just getting the business right and just, knowing what I want to do as far as, projects and, who I would work with, stuff like that. But I'm open to work with anyone, what I mean, who, is willing to work with me. So
Where would you say the work ethic came from though? Because I feel like we see a lot of talented people, rather if it's music or sports, where they're very talented, but they're very lazy. They didn't put in like enough work to be great. So even before you became like I said, like a professional musician, did you have that work ethic as like a kid just going to school? Like I'm finna do my homework as soon as I get home. Like were you
yeah,
one of those people?
definitely, man. I
Gotcha.
stayed back a few times because I wasn't focusing in school because all I was doing was music. Music was first. My mom was always like, your grades is bad. You're staying back. You know what I mean. It's a lot. You know what I mean. And that happens most of the times when you know you have something that you want to pursue and you're neglecting what you really got to do in order to get there. And I had to finish school. Obviously, I graduated in '08, so I got that out the way, of course. And that was the only thing my mom wanted was me to finish school so I can really pursue my music career full time. You know what I mean? And that just came from just me being hungry and ambitious. You know what I'm saying? I know what I wanted to do. I just had to just finish school to continue doing you know what I mean, my music and traveling and you know what I mean. So I was doing that during school. You know what I mean? I was traveling back and forth to New York nonstop. It was just it was balancing the two things. You know what I mean? So I always kept that with me, that drive, that hunger. And once you get comfortable, like in this industry or in any industry you're in, you don't ever want to lose the hunger. You know what I mean? Because there's always that other person that's hungrier and wants it more than you. So you don't want to just fall back and act like you're comfortable because you know that's when things starts to change up, money starts, dying out. It's just you don't ever want to just feel like you're comfortable enough to where you don't have to do as much anymore. You know what I mean? So, but with the technology nowadays and how streaming is, it's obviously a lot easier to put your product out. I'm independent now too, so I can just drop and not really rely on a label or anything like that. So that just helps, a lot of creatives these days, what I mean? Be able to just release music and not really have to worry about labels, holding back a lot of this stuff. So,
Literally, like a few hours ago, me and my friend we were debating about like the pros and cons of being on a label versus being independent. So somebody who has like experienced both, what would you say are the pros and cons of both experiences?
well, I was never really on a label. I was just signed to a publishing company.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So I can't really relate to that. But obviously, everyone always says independent is the way to go, which is the way to go. So, you know, um, I will go with that. You know what I mean? And but there's pros and cons to everything. You know what I mean? Of course, with a label, you got more of a push, you got more of a reach. You know what I mean? There's budgets and stuff like that, but you got to give all that back and the percentages, and it's a lot that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? And independent, you keep 100% of everything you pretty much make, do. You're your own person that you know you call the shots on everything. So that's just the benefit of that. You
Got
know?
you. Got you. Got you. Kind of rewinding back, I guess, in your life. I know that like growing up, you were like in a band at like a very young age, with, like adults.
Yeah, college band. When I was in elementary school, I was playing the drums for a college band, and I did that maybe for a year or two. I can't really remember the duration of the time, but yeah, that was something I did do when I was just drumming. I wasn't even producing or anything at the time. And then fast forward, when I became like I won't say a teenager because I started producing really earlier than that. I'll say around 10, 11 years old was when I wanted to really switch over from playing drums and instruments to actually creating music. And my mom had a keyboard laying around that she had, and I was playing around with that, making melodies, just filling it out. Wanted to just make beats, just play around. And around 12, 13 is when I really got serious and started, producing my stuff and just working my way up, man. Everyone starts off bad. I'm not gonna sit here and say my beats is good out the gate, but they were beats. They were stuff that I was like, okay, this is cool. You can get somewhere with this, and I kept at it, man. And you know, here we are. I still got my beat tapes. I say 2001 on them. You know what I'm saying? So that goes. That shows you how long I've been pretty much doing what I do for. I think it's safe to say 20 plus years. I've been producing music. You know what I mean? About going on 25. So, I dropped the album with Dave East, Living Proof. We're working I'm dropping the deluxe very, very soon. So look out for that. We're just gonna keep it moving, man. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing stopping.
No, for
Whole
sure.
new music, new projects, a lot of new everything, man. You know what I mean? New merch, as you can see. You know what I mean? It's been a while, but good things take time.
No, for sure. I want to stay with the band for a second because with that band, I don't know if you ever said this before. Was it like a jazz band? Was it like a symphonic band? Was it like a marching band? What type of band was it?
Yeah, it was pretty much like a marching type band.
Gotcha.
Not really marching band, but it was pretty much the music and the feel. You know what I mean? Was kind of like a marching band. because it was a college band that really played a lot of anthem songs for pep rallies and sports teams and stuff like that. So I was always like the main attraction because of how younger I was and all that. You know what I mean? It was just something new that people haven't experienced. Like having a kid. You know what I mean? Playing drums for a adult band was
Yeah.
kind of new. You know what I mean? So, but I kept it together. You know what I'm saying? That was just my thing. You know what I mean? It was drums. I've been known for the drummer boy from like again since elementary school. You know what I mean? I was always on the drums. That's what I grew up playing. It's a gift. You know what I mean? I didn't just want to you know uh, start playing drums out of nowhere. It was just something from the beginning. You know what I mean? I was just always tapping. You know what I mean? I just um, started at a very young age, 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? And then my dad got me my first drum set at 5, I believe it was. You know what I mean? I believe I was in that band at like maybe, I don't know, 9, 10 years old, something like that. You know what I mean? But I grew up playing in churches. Um, you know, that's where I pretty much all started at. And then I kind of just, went from there, playing in school, um, talent shows. You know what I mean? Anywhere I could pretty much get my hands on a drum set, I was on there.
Have you ever played any other percussion instrument?
Nah, it was mostly drums and piano were like my two things. When I wanted to play piano is when I wanted to just play my own stuff, my own melodies, and then that's what turned into producing beats and stuff. So that's where it all started. Once I stopped really doing the drums, I went on to the piano, and that's how that whole thing started.
I think probably one of my first times hearing you as a very young child. It would I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to do research. But what was the first thing I heard from him? I think the first thing I ever heard from you was "Speaking in Tongues" by Cameron and Vado.
I didn't
And
I didn't do speaking in tongues.
you didn't do "Speaking in Tongues"?
Uh,
Am I tripping?
you are.
Are you listed? Are you listed or "Speaking in Tongues" on the internet? You are listed on multiple
I,
websites.
I'm not gonna sit here and take credit for something I didn't do. I can see why people might have thought that, but I did. We all up in here. I did pretty much the whole Gangster Grill series, but I just didn't do that one.
Wait, did you know that though? Did you know that you're listed on like a few websites for that?
No, I didn't even know I was listed. I didn't even know
Man, they done
that.
fed me wrong information, man. That's so funny. I
Yeah,
said it with so much confidence. That's great. So yeah, shout out to the. I forget what I seen. I was like, he's because when I seen it, I was like, wait, you produced that? I didn't know that. So yeah, hilarious. Never mind, you didn't produce that. So the first song I would have heard from you would have had to be in. It was I don't know if it was because I had seen you do interviews and stuff, but like like you start to come into my realm probably around like Hammer Dance with like Slaughterhouse. I was like a big like Slaughterhouse like
yeah,
nerd. Like I loved everything Slaughterhouse from their mixtapes to the albums. Like I loved Slaughterhouse, and you had like a very unique sound. Like nobody like sounded like you. And then when I would see you do your interviews, like I would say it's like one of the most like interesting things to me as a kid was seeing you on Hot 97 playing the
mm,
MPC like live, because I was
yeah.
like this is like a live instrument like this. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen anybody use it like this. Usually you see people in the studio cooking up a beat, but you're using
Yep.
it as if it's like a piano or something. Like you're using it as like an actual drum.
Right.
Were you the first person to kind of like revolutionize it as like a live instrument?
Yep. I'm gonna say that for sure.
What made you
I'm
do
the.
that?
I took my drumming skills and applied it to the MPC. That's where all that started. I said, you know what? Instead of playing drums, I'm a I'm gonna take my my drumming skills and apply it to the MPC. And once I did that, it was over. You know what I mean? I started making videos, and this was before social media and stuff like that. So all we really had was YouTube to really display you know content and stuff like that. So this was the golden era before everything. So I came in right before everything switched up and all that. So you know um, that was like the real way to make a name for yourself and for everyone to really see what you're about. And that's what I did. I kept doing that. And you know I'm trying to think. I don't know if I had too many viral videos like that, but that's what it was. Okay, not I remember. I got with a booking agent, and that's when they started booking me, to do live shows
Yeah.
for electronic um, festivals and shows and stuff like that. And that's how I really got to perform in front of the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people and touring around the world doing that. So once I released my Electronic Dream album in 2011, my first tour was in Europe, and then I did the States, and then from there, man, I was just I was on everything. I did Coachella, I did EDC, I've done so much, man, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely made the MPC finger drumming thing that y'all call it now and see everywhere. Yeah, I could definitely say I was the one that pretty much started it all off.
I don't know if you ever thought about it like this, but like musically, you've been like an attraction your entire life. Rather if it's you in like the adult band, it's like, hey, look, this little kid could do this. Then
Yeah.
like you create like an instrument essentially, and people are like
Mm-hmm.
literally bringing you on. Like, what producer goes on interviews and like, hey, cook up a beat right here, just play this beat for like that's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you've
Yes.
been like an
Yeah.
attraction your whole life.
Yeah. Definitely. Even just with the drums and just like I don't know. Because I just been blessed and fortunate to be able to take my talents and inspire inspire the people and make them want to also produce or whatever it is that
Yeah.
make them feel what I mean doing. And of course the playing was just a bonus. It was just something I could do. But the producing like the beats by themselves is a whole nother it's a whole nother thing in itself. So you know um, yeah, it's just like best of both worlds, man. You get the live playing and you get the actual tracks. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a rare thing for a producer to be able to have. Of course, I was killing everyone at the battles and stuff like that because I
Mm.
was literally the only person doing live beats on the spot. Everyone would just go in there with a CD or whatever and play tracks, but I was actually the only one playing the tracks live in person. You know what I'm saying? Flipping it, changing it, making 5 beats out of 1 beat. You know what I'm saying? Just on some real like Iverson in the court, just going crazy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No, and it's like
Showmanship
for
is
sure,
definitely different.
for sure. You like you like cooking up on the NPC. It's like I don't know, like you on Hot 97 is like one of my favorite videos ever. That's like speaking of Iverson, that's like you stepping over Ty Lue. That's to me. That's
Yeah.
like you're stepping over Ty Lue. It's like a iconic moment for me. And like I feel like you haven't really dropped off in production since Dream. You know what I'm saying? Like you've like done crazy different stuff. Also, I do have to go back to this. First time in history I ever brought up something. Somebody was like, I ain't do that. So I gotta go back and see where I got that from. That was Rap Genius. Rap Genius has you listed as as the producer of Speaking in Tongues. So I you know I had to, you feel me? That's crazy. They set me up like that. So that's Rap Genius, man. Rap Genius got you listed as that. I don't know why. No clue.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I mean, man. I never claimed to ever make that beat. Never. I never was like, yo, I made never. You know what I'm saying? So
Is
that's
this
the first time I really even had someone ask me that and tell me, oh, you know what I mean? And for me to actually correct it. So I would have told you, nah, people use, you know what I mean? Like, nah, this is like the first time for me to even know that I was listed as a producer. You know what I mean? Because I never seen the credits for that. I never paid attention to shit outside of what I did. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, but no, shout out to whoever made made that. You know what I mean? That was a fire joint too. You
it's
know
like
what I mean? But I can see why the people would assume that it was me or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying?
crazy, crazy. Shout out to that song. It's so funny because coming to this interview, I was like, we finna talk about speaking of tongues. So funny. You like, no, it's actually not my beat. But that's hilarious. But no, one thing that I did want to touch on, kind of fast forward a little bit, even though I do want to kind of go back, but this is like in my head right now. The beat
Mm-hmm.
that you have, or one of the beats that you have on this Davies album, probably one of my favorites of the year. And it's probably because it's like a sample of another sample that I like. That Solid Niggas is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Solid Niggas is crazy.
Oh man,
That
yeah,
it's
definitely fire. That's one of my joints right there.
it's
Hell yeah.
so like cinematic, and like I said, I think about the Emil's the joint that's like they're like that kind of sampled it first. That is a
Mm-hmm.
very crazy sample. I love it. The way you flipped it, nuts. Just gotta
Yeah.
give you praise for that. I feel like that might be already like one of your all time beats. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but that's a crazy beat. Crazy beat, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, I appreciate it, man. You know what I mean? Like, I like to make things in just a different way that no one would think of. I like to just add, you know what I'm saying? You know, I just like to just give the people my version, rendition of something that they know, but in my way. You know what I'm saying? It's my take on it. So, you know, I could take something that people used over and over and over and still make it a way where it's like, damn, I would have never thought, you know what I'm saying? So that was that one right there. That was one of those joints for sure. Solid niggas. Crazy.
No, there's a plenty of beats that sample the same song that I love
Yeah.
because those same songs don't sound the same. Like they might have the
Mm-hmm.
same sample, but the producer did very different things with that same sample. There's other songs that have the same
Yeah.
sample where it's like I don't know why you tried to sample this again because you just kind of just did the other beat again. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of made the other nigga
Yeah.
beat. So
And
you
also sometimes it's not even worth remaking. You know what
mm-hmm,
I'm saying? Just because it's not gonna hold up to the original. Just like movies, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's making stuff classics from, and it's just kind of ruining it. You know what I mean? It's just like people are just not interested in listening or seeing something that's a classic. You know what I mean? Because they don't want that memorabilia to just be ruined like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they'd rather just not even see it, hear it, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? And just you know, um, just appreciate the original. You know what I mean? Some things is better undone. You know what I mean? Like just leave it alone. You know what I mean? Just leave the classics alone. Unless you're really gonna do it. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right. And I'm just one of those people that can really make something right. You know what I'm saying? Like real. Certain people could just take something and just kind of ruin it, man. Like, damn, you fucked it up, bro. So it's like that's it, man. If you're gonna do something, just make sure you do it right. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, I'm curious of your take on like this is my like least favorite trend in hip hop. I think it is like I hear stuff like this and I'm like, is hip hop dead? Like I think about the Nas album a lot. Like these days, I'm like hip hop might be on its way out the door. What do you
Mm-hmm.
feel about like people sampling songs that came out like 10 years ago, and they don't really do anything to the sample? It's like they'll sample like a number one song that was in hip hop and like do nothing to. It's almost like they just kind of like took the beat and add like one little different melody and that was it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've been keeping up or seeing that trend, but it has happened a lot in hip hop and it just seems
What?
like
Just
very
having just the
uncreative.
sample play?
Yeah, just like what's a let's say I'm trying to think of a popular song. Freaking Boosie Wipe Me Down. That's a very popular song. Somebody will sample that and do nothing with it. It's almost like they just took that and added probably like two different drum patterns and that was it. Like that's been happening a lot in hip hop. I don't know if you've been aware of this, but it's just like it seems very lazy and uncreative.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, right now I feel like music is not really appreciated like it was before. You know what I mean? Like it's just people are just taking stuff and just I don't know, just doing whatever. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, whether it's an old sample or new. You know, it's different categories of music. So if we're talking drill or just, you know, Jersey bounce stuff, a lot of people take old stuff and just, you know what I mean? But, um, yeah, it's whatever, man. Music's music at this point, bro. I don't even be having time to even criticize stuff. Is you know what I mean? If it's something that's, you know, not really a cup of tea, just keep it moving, right?
Yeah,
Don't waste your time even or energy trying to, you know what I mean? It's just, and if you're a fan of it, hey, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about a good vibe. You know what I mean? It's cool. But you know, it's just music's definitely in a different space now. Um, you know, everyone has their core fans. So, uh, yeah, man, times is changing, been changing. But I feel like there's still real music out there. You know what I mean? I'm one of them. You know what I mean? That's always gonna give you quality. You know what I mean? Music at all times. But you know, I'm just gonna just continue doing what I do and give the people, you know, uh, stuff that they expect to hear. You know what I mean?
I think you really can't get too boggled down in other people's business too much. And I think you're a really nice guy because you sound like me a little bit, just in a much more nicer version. Because from your answer, I could tell that you think a lot of this hip hop sucks. I could tell the way you answered that you think a lot of the shit that's going on right now is probably not good. Just the way you answered it, but just in a very nice way. And I appreciate your kindness, your kind heartedness, because I
Yeah.
feel like there's like you said, there's not a lot of appreciation. I feel like for hip hop at this moment. At this moment, it just feels like a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
just kind of coming in, just saying words into a microphone. Real no appreciation. Just I'm finna go rob Brad the liquor store next door. It's on go. It's like all right, you don't feel what you like. This is just
Mm-hmm.
this is no soul to this. You know, it feels like the soul is slowly
Yeah,
being
I
ripped
feel like
off.
it's just all money grabs. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Even with the sneaker industry, everyone's just releasing sneakers just for money grabs. The quality's not there. You know what I mean? It's like that in every industry, bro. So it doesn't even matter. Film, music, fashion. You know what I mean? Like everything is pretty much doing the same thing. Everything's getting retro. Music's getting retro. Movies are getting retro. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like it's just very yeah, man. Yeah. I don't really have to elaborate too much.
yeah.
Everyone's you know what I mean? But that's just what's it's what's in. You know, it's a new generation. You know, these kids now wouldn't really understand, you know, how things was back then or quality or anything. I mean, so it's just it's just like a different time, man. Everything is just fast paced. People want the next thing. You know what I mean? Music before it was hard to move on to another album. You know what I'm saying? Like now, everyone can get rid of. You know what I mean? Like they can just move on to the next one.
It's almost too much music at our fingertips right now. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
so much. It's
much
too
of
accessible.
anything is not. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So sometimes when it comes to artists like myself, I like to just you know come in at the right time, drop at the right time. You know, let everyone just release their shit so that way when I drop, you know what I mean? You know, people could pay more attention, and I don't get really drowned out with everything else that's going on. You know what I mean? But I don't really care about all of that, because my stuff's gonna live as long once it's out. It's gonna live forever, man. You know what I mean? So I don't really get caught up in that mindset or hype or anything like that. You know what I mean?
I think one thing where you're benefiting from and things that are going to live forever because not only you doing music, you're scoring stuff for like films, and we're talking about like how movies are kind of whatever, but like you doing something like with Harmony Korine, like those type of things are going to live forever. And I watched your interview with Dylan and Cinema Sign. You guys were talking about doing like scoring and like your favorite scores for movies and stuff like that. After doing this, did it like I know you said like you've always want to do this, but after you officially finally did it spark anything in your brain on something like damn, like I really want to do this again, or was it kind of like I'm not like chasing to do it again, or is it something you really want to do again?
I mean, opportunities like that, man. That's it's a whole nother world. So of course you would always want to do it again, and you know, on a bigger scale the next time. You know what I mean? Because once you already did something, it's like at that level, like scoring music for a film. I mean, the next project got to be even more. You know what I mean? To top the first one, and you know, that's something that I could, definitely do again, and really just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, yeah, man. It's definitely a new experience. You know what I mean? It was again something I wanted to always do, and I'm looking forward to, you know what I mean, doing more for sure.
I know you said Harmony Korine and them had gave you like images and kind of like mood boards to be like, hey, like try to make something with this vibe. Just you, just personally, like
Yeah.
not when you're making something for somebody, but just when you're inspired to make a beat. What like actually motivates you to make a beat? Like, do you like, are you like watching a TV show, or you see a picture of a tree, you see anything? Like, are you like one of the type of person? You know what I'm saying? Like somebody could look at the sun and be like, damn, this shit beautiful. I want to make a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what motivates you actually to go in the studio and make a beat?
I don't know. It's sometimes I'll just think of something that I want to make. Like, I don't know. I don't really. Uh, I don't know, man. It's different. It's like if I listen to different music, or if I'm watching a film or something, you know what I mean, and I hear something, yeah, it'll definitely inspire me to, you know, it'll spark an idea. But it's like it's like second nature, man. I don't really have to think about it. I just do it. It's like breathing. You're breathing. You're living. It's like blinking. Your body automatically just does it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things. It's just I do without even having to think too much or anything, man. You know what I mean? So, um, but when I am gonna create something, I always have like categories or like a specific type of track I want to make, and you know what I mean at the time. So, it'll be random. You know what I mean? I'll probably want to make some hard street shit like Solid Niggas. You know what I'm saying? That will be like a random idea that I'll just come up out of nowhere on my own. I was like, yo, let me flip this. Let me do this. You know what I mean? I'll do it, and then that's it. But other times, I'll just browse through whatever feeling I feel like making. You know what I mean? I'll just run through different records. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is, and I'll just create and just keep adding to the library. You know what I mean?
Is it?
And that's it, man. Like, I don't really think too much. I don't
Yeah.
like it's like being in school and you're like stuck on a question, on a whatever, like a
Yeah.
test answer. They always say move on to the next and then maybe come back to it. Yeah, I don't really like sit on an idea of a track or whatever it is for too long. I finish it. And everything I do I finish it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a great
I
idea.
don't I don't I don't make half ass tracks and then go back to it and you know what I mean, finish it later. Everything I do is done. It's done. On to the next one, done. You know what I'm saying? I don't leave anything undone. Um, all my ideas are finished right there on the spot. And I just move on to the next one, man. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to like playing stuff for artists, I already have stuff that I know that they will want. and like. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna play something that they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you always want to cater to someone's sound at the same time. I mean, you obviously want to like bring them into your world and have them, expand, uh, different ideas, man. You know what I mean? But I don't like to just go too left. You know what I'm saying? I still want to keep them in the pocket that they're comfortable in, and just give them, a little twist of what I do. And that's just what my job is. Just it's just to add, I mean, to what's going on already, and just build a catalog with them.
Do you it's by the way, I think it's great advice about the whole like finishing and not kind of going back or whatever. Like I'm definitely a person who like I will stay on a test question. I took an exam today, funny enough. I was like on
Mm-hmm.
question 19 for like 10 minutes. I do like I can't let it defeat me. I got one of them type of attitudes. Like I can't
Yeah.
lose. I can't move on until I get this answer. So that's the type of approach that I have. But you're interesting
Mm-hmm.
because like with speaking to you, listening to you, unless I'm wrong, I feel like you don't really do a lot too many interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like you seem like a much more like a reserved kind of, you know what I'm saying, out the way type of guy or whatnot. And that has to
Yeah.
be interesting in a world where everybody wants to know everything about you. They want to see all your Instagram posts. They want to, you know what I'm saying, know what your parlay is for tonight on the
Mm-hmm.
game. Like they want to know everything. You kind of
Mm-hmm.
seemingly more being reserved. How do you? Is it kind of hard for you to operate in this like new social media world?
Only when it comes to being like in front of the camera at all times and speaking and revealing a lot of stuff that you wouldn't, what I mean, like do. You got to be really comfortable in that space for real. You know what I mean? It's like podcasting. You know what I mean? You got to really be that person who loves talk and be in front of the camera at all times. Like, I'll do it. I've never been an introvert type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Because I'm like an artist already. I'm performing in front of thousands of people like a real artist. You got to be, you can't be you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, but, you know, this is the times now. This is just what it is. You know what I mean? And certain things you got to just do, even if it's uncomfortable or whatever. You just got to kind of, grow from that and just, you know, give the people more of you, which I'm doing, you know, um, for sure. More and more, the more I drop and release, the more I got to obviously, do press runs and you know, promote projects and be on interviews and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm already like a notable person. Like I speak. Like when people see me, you know what I mean? Um, I'm not like I don't play the background. Is what I'm trying to say. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like people already know. Like when they see me, like they know it's me. They know my work, stuff like that. So it's not like I'm this mysterious person who just doesn't, you know what I mean, talk much or anything like that. But yeah, man. I mean, um, with all these new projects dropping stuff like that, I'm definitely, gonna do a lot more, as far as content and just you know show people more in different sides of me because I definitely been reserved for forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I obviously I let my work speak for me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and just be mad random. It has to just make sense,
Yeah.
man. When it comes to me doing stuff, like it just gotta make sense for me and vice versa. So I'm not just doing random stuff out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever be that person who's just doing stuff out of nowhere that usually I wouldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, music aside, like when you're done with music, not when you're done with music, but like for the day when you're not recording or in the studio, what are things like you're into? Like what are like your what is Arab music hobbies? Things to kind of take your mind away from doing music.
I mean, well, music's not like a job for me, so I just do it even if uh, um, I'm not working with a specific art. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just it's kind of like something I just do without even having to, want to do a specific thing or, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, it's, I'm into basic regular stuff. You know what I mean? I don't really play sports. My whole life is based on music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never really been into, anything outside of music. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm into fashion. Of course, we all like to get fly, shop, and do regular basic stuff, hang with the bros, roll up, sip, go out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing crazy special of what I do on my own. You know what I'm saying? I do it basically what people do. Eat, go out, eat, you know what I mean? Like simple stuff. But I always just, get back to, just always, you know, um, creating new stuff, you know what I mean? It's like an artist
Hmm.
or anyone in a major field, like they're gonna do their their little time off, but they're always gonna come back to doing what they do, whether they have to or not. It's just an automatic thing. You know what I mean? So
No, but no like specific interests. Like I like watching documentaries, or I like watching
I'm,
this.
I'm more of a movie person. I
Gotcha.
don't really watch documentaries or series because it's like it's too time invest. You got to really invest a lot of time. You know what I mean? Like it's just certain people have their preference. You know what I mean? I'm more of a movie guy. You know what I mean? Other people like, documentaries. Other people like to watch TV series with 1,000 seasons and stuff like that. Like you got to be extremely committed to watch all of those and finish it. And you know what I mean? And other people love reading. You know what I mean? And reading hundreds of books. And, you know what I mean? Like everyone has their thing. So my thing is just music, bro. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing wrong with just always doing what you do, even on your off time. You know what I'm saying?
No, I appreciate that. I mean, it's like talking to like an athlete because you talk to certain athletes, they don't do anything outside of just studying ball. You know what I'm saying? Like everything go back to football or
It's like a
basketball.
professional boxer. I mean, he's gonna do his thing, shop, you know, just live, but always gonna catch him in the gym,
Hmm.
working out, just sharpening his skills. You know what I mean? And just preparing and just always being on point. No days off when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, when it comes to athletes, boxers, and movie actors and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, man. Even rappers, bro. They're always gonna rap or want to be in the studio, regardless if they're working on an album or not, man. You know what I mean? They're just gonna be in the studio. It's just what they do. You know, they rap, get fresh, and be with their family and whatever, and then go right back to what I mean, being in the studio and just working, man.
You know, speaking of people who've put out a lot of music, you worked on a project that I feel like was very underrated a few years ago that not a lot of people talked about, I feel like, or not enough people talked about. And one of your songs you produced was one of my favorites, Billions by Alicia Keys.
Alicia
That's
Keys,
that
man.
song is really good. And I feel like that's one of the songs that I wish got more attention. And the way you kind of like created an atmosphere for her to explore, like that felt like a just like an open world atmosphere, and it was beautiful. That's a great song.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, shout out to Swiss. You know what I mean, for making that happen. That album definitely, should have, you know, did more, got more praise for sure. Especially because she dropped the deluxe and did the Trillions remix. You know what I mean, featuring Brent Fires. Um, but yeah, man, I'm just one of those people that you got to really follow and know what's going on. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the type who's just gonna just randomly say everything I've done and just kind of like brag. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you know, you know. That's it. It's one of them things. I kind of feel like I always been that way too. Like, if you really follow, you know, my work, you'll know, the stuff I've done. I'm not gonna just, go around just, you know what I mean, just bragging about. stuff that I, you know what I mean. For those that don't know about, you know what I mean. So you know, I'm just a simple. You know what I mean. I keep it simple, man. I've been that way my whole life.
Do you, do you see yourself ever? Because like you said, you do keep it. I feel like even with like so like this is one of the things I've always wanted out of A-Rap music. If I had one suggestion or one request for A-Rap music, I feel like how do I put this? I feel like you kind of work with like a certain type of like artist, and I feel like there's
Yeah,
certain artists that I would love to hear over your beats. And I don't know if it's just
yeah,
a whatever, but I want to hear like when I hear you with Alicia Keys, I'm like, this is what I want to hear. Like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And would
yeah.
you ever see yourself? Because you work with different types of artists for sure. It's not the first different type of artist you work with, but is that something that you see more in the future of you? Like even you scoring a film is like okay, like this is like I feel like we're opening like a different Pandora box at this point. Do you see yourself kind of
Mm-hmm.
trying to do more things like that in the future?
Yeah, 1,000%. You know, I have a lot of more I have plenty of records in the arsenal with all these people. It's all about them putting the product out. I have no control over that.
Gotcha.
That's the wackest part ever is that I don't have control. You know what I mean? And I don't even have the music. I've heard the music, of course, because I made it and I'm in the studio with them. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just an artist that you know I would love to obviously continue to release music with and stuff like that. But fortunately, it's all on them. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got a question. Is there a song that you already have made that has not came out that you just like, you know what I'm saying? You like, bro, can y'all please put out this song because you just think it's like one of them ones, like a
Mm-hmm.
specific one that you think about a lot. Like, I really wish this song would like hurry up and drop.
Uh, yeah. It's an album. It's dropping real soon.
Okay.
It's dropping real soon. A lot of stuff now is like finally making
Okay.
their way to. You know what I mean?
Without even saying what it is or who it is, why is that one the one that pop in your head when you like, boy, I can't wait for this one specifically to drop? Like, what about that one is like the one for you?
Well, there's multiple tracks on an album,
Okay.
and it's an anticipated artist that's been waiting to drop for a while now. So I know once they hear this body of work, I guess it's gonna be worth the wait, right?
Alright, alright. I ain't
It's
even gonna
just
guess, but I feel like I know who this
I
person is. But
I never disappoint. Me and this person never disappoint. We've been working for years, long time. So I just don't want to keep mentioning certain things all the time. When you know what I mean, it just gets old. I'd rather just have the time come to where the people are finally, it's happening, it's here. You know what I mean? I don't really always like pushing other people's projects like that. Even
yeah,
though I'm on it, but it's like I let them do that, and when the project releases, then that's when I'll revisit that and really elaborate on that more. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to see what this is. I hope it drops ASAP. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
Can't
for
wait to
sure.
hear it.
Definitely, me too, man.
That was my guess. I
Me,
don't know. I
me
don't know if
being
you.
a creator and knowing the stuff that we've been had for years and stuff that we have in the stash. It's like, damn, if only the world knew this already. You know what I mean? Can hear this,
I
but
don't. I don't know if you caught my guess right there. It slid something in there. I don't know if you caught what I did there.
what?
I hope
Nah.
it drops ASAP.
I did catch that.
Okay. 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 Okay.
I did catch that. I mean, he's someone I did some shit with for sure, like music, yeah. But things always change up. People change their mind. People start. Yeah, it's just like you'll be surprised, man. The people I work with, having like a fire relationship with, but I don't really have content like that with them, or you know what I mean. It's just like it's just you know. But that's stuff that's like, you know, you don't have control over, man. Like, and that's it, man. I mean, I don't really dwell on the
Yeah,
wish, the I could have, you know what I mean? All
yeah,
that. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? If it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? If not, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and play something for the world. You know what I mean? That, you know, I'm not gonna be that desperate person to leak or try to, yo, look what I did. It's like, cause it's kind of whack. And it's like, and that kind of like, makes people be like, we can't eat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know, it's just, it's people are real sensitive with their work and stuff like that. So, you know, you got to be real mindful on the stuff that you play that's not out, especially with certain artists. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like 25 is a year that I have a lot of work that's gonna come out for sure.
Well, I'm about to
You
say
know?
24. You had a hell of a 24. You feel me? We talking about what could have, what should have, what you did was impressive this year. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
scored aggro drift,
I
which is
just don't like to
crazy.
talk on stuff that I don't have control over as far as stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, I've definitely, I definitely done some stuff, for sure. You know, I feel like this album though is what's gonna really, take me there because now I have a real album that I really produced everything on. You know, and with the deluxe and you know different pop ups, and we're definitely gonna do shows behind all this as well. So people can come out and see the show live, and yeah, man, just it's just a whole experience for sure.
Shoot, man. I appreciate you coming through. If you got any last words for the people watching, the floor is yours, man.
Man, just stay my bad about
No, you
that, but
good?
yeah, stay tuned, man. I got plenty of things in the making. Electronic Dream 2 is also a super highly anticipated album I've been working on. It's done, for all the people that have been waiting and asking. That's another real big project that the people are just, asking and dying for me to drop. But, it has to be released right. It just can't drop out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Everything has a, you know, um, specific rollout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the proper press. You gotta have the proper PR. You gotta have the proper look for everything. You know what I mean? So definitely 25 is the year. Electronic Gene 2 would be out for sure, 1,000%. You know, that's it, man. I mean, just keep look. Just keep looking out for me, man. You know, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Living Proof out now. Davies, go get that. Deluxe should be out very soon. You know what I mean? So, um, that's it, man. New site, AraabMuzik.co. Go log on that. Go get your merch. Go get your hoodies. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep updating, um, the site with more, content, more merch and stuff that people can grab and get and stuff like that. So, just stay tuned for a lot of things, man, coming. You know?
Hey, man. I appreciate you coming through. For everybody watching, I appreciate you guys watching. Um, y'all boycott Rap Genius with me. They let me straight during this interview. I can't believe it did that. That's crazy. But I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I say what I mean. I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play. Y'all holla at yo boy.